It was a quiet Wednesday evening in Georgia, March 21st, 2007. Teresa Parker was brimming with hope. She'd just visited her sister, Christina, sharing the thrill of her new apartment, a symbol of the new chapter she was ready to begin. After years of turmoil, things were finally looking up. Around 10:30 p.m., Teresa made a quick call to a friend. She mentioned heading back to the house she still shared with her soon-to-be ex-husband, Samuel Parker, to grab a few belongings. She'd wait until he was asleep to avoid any conflict. That was the last time anyone heard from her. Her phone went silent. Her SUV turned up in an odd location, and Samuel, the man she was desperate to leave, had a story that didn't quite add up. What unfolded that night would remain a mystery for years, unraveling a truth far darker than anyone could have foreseen. This is the story of Teresa Parker. Teresa Fielding came into the world on September 9, 1965, in San Diego County, California. The daughter of Claire and William, she grew up in a lively home with 4 siblings: Hilda, Jerry, Richard, and her closest confidant, Christina. The bond between Teresa and Christina was unbreakable, a constant thread through their lives. Family was everything to Teresa, the heartbeat of who she was. As an adult, Teresa's warmth and compassion defined her. Her kindness touched everyone she met, and her desire to serve led her to a career as a police dispatcher in Lafayette, Louisiana. She excelled in the high-pressure role, and the job brought her closer to Christina, who had also settled in the area. The sisters cherished their near-daily connection. By September 1992, Teresa's skill and dedication earned her a promotion to supervisor of the Emergency Services Center in Walker County, Georgia. It was around this time that her path crossed with Samuel Logan Parker, a local police officer born around 1956 and raised in Walker County's rugged landscapes. Samuel was a man of the badge. His life revolved around his work. He and his brother Kenneth had shared childhoods filled with hunting and fishing, later serving together in the military and law enforcement. To those who knew him, Samuel's identity was tied to his uniform. But beneath the polished exterior lurked a volatile side. In the 1980s, Samuel was married to his first wife, Kayla Burrell. Their marriage was marred by violence. Kayla confided in friends about Samuel's abuse, including a chilling incident where, in uniform, he assaulted her. One friend's husband, a city councilman, reported the allegations to the police chief and city manager, but no action was taken. The abuse persisted. In another horrifying episode, Samuel dragged Kayla through broken glass, handcuffed her to a bedpost, and later broke into her new home, pinning her down with his service weapon pressed to her head. He warned her that her body would never be found if she spoke out. Kayla eventually escaped, but Samuel faced no consequences. When Samuel met Teresa, he concealed his past. His charm was magnetic, and Teresa fell hard. To her sister Christina, he seemed witty and courteous, a perfect gentleman. On September 11, 1993, they married. Their early years were intense, filled with love but also fiery arguments. Over time, Samuel's darker tendencies resurfaced, casting a shadow over their home. By 2002, Samuel's career was at its peak, but his personal life was crumbling. On May 4th, police were called to the couple's home after a heated dispute. Samuel, drunk and furious, accused Teresa of cheating. Officers found the yard littered with women's clothes, Teresa tearful with a visible mark on her face. She insisted she'd scratched herself and refused to press charges, asking only to stay elsewhere for the night. Under Georgia law, Samuel should have been arrested as the clear aggressor in a domestic violence case, even without Teresa's cooperation. But the responding officer did nothing, claiming he didn't want to victimize Teresa further. The incident was buried. No report, no arrest, no consequences. In April 2003, the couple attempted to mend their fractured marriage with a trip to Panama City Beach, Florida. The sun-soaked shores should have been a reprieve. They spent the day relaxing, but during dinner at a beachside restaurant, Samuel's temper erupted. He threatened to handcuff Teresa, kill himself, and possibly her too. As they drove away, he fired his revolver out the car window. Witnesses alerted police, who found Teresa distraught and Samuel intoxicated and belligerent. He denied having a gun, but officers found 2 firearms in his vehicle, one recently fired. Samuel was taken to a mental health facility for a 72-hour evaluation, where he made a chilling remark to officers. With his law enforcement expertise, he could hide a body so well it would never be found. After his release, he returned home to Teresa. Samuel's drinking spiraled, seeping into his work hours. Their marriage, already strained, collapsed entirely. In April 2006, Teresa confided in 2 of Samuel's colleagues, including Sheriff Steve Wilson, about his alcoholism, the Florida incident, and his ongoing threats. She didn't want him arrested, just out of her life. By early 2007, she filed for divorce, a decision that brought her relief instead of sorrow. With Christina's support, Teresa began hunting for a new apartment, eager to live near her sister and nephews. On March 21, 2007, she found the perfect place. That night, she visited Christina, bubbling with excitement about her fresh start. As they parted, Christina felt an inexplicable unease, a hollow feeling she couldn't shake. At 10:30 p.m., Teresa called her friend Rhonda Knox from her new apartment. She mentioned a quick trip to the Lafayette house to pick up some items, planning to wait until Samuel was asleep to avoid trouble. That was the last trace of her. Around 2 a.m. on March 22nd, Samuel appeared at the home of Christy Bellflower, a woman he was reportedly involved with. Using her phone, he called fellow officer Ben Chaffin, admitting he'd done something to Teresa and that her body would never be found. He warned Chaffin to keep quiet or face repercussions. By 5 a.m., Samuel left Christy's home. Investigators believe he used those early hours to dispose of Teresa's body in a remote area near a river and hunting trail he knew from childhood, about 30 miles from Walker County. At 6 a.m., Rhonda received a silent call from Teresa's phone. No one answered her repeated attempts to reach Teresa. Alarmed, Rhonda contacted Shane Green, a friend in the Walker County Sheriff's Department. Shane and Deputy Corey Griffin checked the Lafayette house, finding Samuel's truck and patrol car, but no sign of Teresa's SUV. By afternoon, her vehicle mysteriously reappeared at the house, yet Teresa was gone. Her phone remained silent, and even Samuel claimed he couldn't reach her. Christina, growing frantic, realized something was terribly wrong. On March 24th, the Parker family filed a missing person report. The community rallied, organizing vigils, distributing flyers, and searching tirelessly. Sheriff Steve Wilson called in the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, assigning Special Agent James Harris to the case. At Teresa's new apartment, Harris found her clothes, shoes, and work uniform, but no sign of her. Search teams scoured forests, drained ponds, and combed landfills, but the vast terrain yielded no answers. Suspicion turned to Samuel. During questioning, he claimed Teresa had left voluntarily due to their divorce, but his timeline was shaky. The Parker home was searched multiple times, yielding old rifles but no clear evidence. Scent-tracking dogs, given Samuel's clothing and patrol car scent, traced a path up a hill and back, supporting the theory that he'd moved a body into the woods. Samuel grew defensive, accusing police of targeting him unfairly and suggesting they focus on Teresa's belongings instead. Shockingly, Officer Ben Chaffin, who received Samuel's confession, never reported it. Months passed with no breakthroughs. Then a crime scene technician found traces of blood in the Parker home, shifting the case from a disappearance to a potential homicide. Forensic analysis revealed more. Samuel's truck had been meticulously cleaned, but Teresa's blood and his DNA were found in the back. On February 4, 2008, Samuel was arrested and charged with murder. He stuck to his story, claiming Teresa had fled to Florida or beyond. With no body, the case relied on circumstantial evidence. The trial began on August 17, 2009. Samuel didn't testify, but his defense argued Teresa might still be alive. His first wife, Kayla, recounted his violent past. Then, in a stunning moment, Ben Chaffin admitted to the 2 a.m. confession call, revealing Samuel's claim that no one would find Teresa's body. Witnesses testified to Samuel's boasts about his knowledge of the Georgia woods, where he could hide a body forever. The prosecution wove a compelling timeline of Teresa's murder and disposal, while the defense insisted there was no body, no weapon, no direct proof. In September 2009, the jury found Samuel guilty of malice murder, making false statements and violating his oath as an officer. He was sentenced to life without parole, showing no emotion as Teresa's family wept. Christina, though relieved, knew Samuel likely held the secret to her sister's final resting place, and he wasn't talking. Samuel's attorneys appealed, claiming insufficient evidence and a flawed trial. But on September 20, 2010, a farmer named David, hauling corn near the Chattooga River, close to the Alabama border, stumbled upon a human jawbone. Authorities recovered more skeletal remains and clothing nearby. Dental records confirmed it was Teresa. The discovery came as another search for her was underway miles away. Forensic experts couldn't determine the exact cause of death after years of exposure, but the medical examiner ruled it a homicide. Whether Samuel left her body there or the river carried it remained unclear. On September 21, 2010, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation notified Teresa's family, bringing bittersweet closure. The next day, Sheriff Wilson held a press conference, calling it a day of peace for Teresa's loved ones and the countless people who'd searched for her. On October 7, 2010, a memorial service honored Teresa at the Walker County Civic Center. Her funeral followed on October 8 at the First Baptist Church of Lafayette, with her burial on October 9th. Samuel, now 14 months into his life sentence, gave a local news interview, denying guilt and accusing prosecutors of fabricating a violent persona. In November 2014, the Georgia Supreme Court upheld his conviction. Teresa's absence left an unfillable void for her family. She was a devoted sister, daughter, and friend, and no sentence could bring her back. But her family found solace knowing Samuel could never harm again. They vowed to honor her by raising awareness about domestic violence, urging others to recognize the signs before it's too late. Teresa Parker's story became a beacon, a reminder to act, to listen, and to fight for those who can no longer speak.